I guess we're ready to go. Let's do this. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did. Thank you very much for asking. Weekends are always enjoyable, that's for sure. So, we are going to start off our week by going over to the computer. We're going to check out what we did on Friday, and we're going to take it from there. So, what did we do on Friday? We basically added shadowing to our background. We added some ochre yellow, some lighter golden yellow, and then we tackled in with the blue, the same thing, dark blue, light blue, and whatever. So it gives us this beautiful, rich background. So what we're going to do today is start adding plants and decorating the whole thing. So I am going to do that. I'm going to start off, I think, with some purple plants. I can see purple in here. I mean, we're not trying to follow any sort of reality, right? This is all expressionism, and I basically just paint colors. It's what I love to do. So let's do that. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to get out the purple paint right here, I guess, right? Well, this definitely is not it. Primary blue. So, where is my purple paint? It is right here. There we go. Purple. Very nice. So, of course, I'm going to mix in some white because it's extremely dark. And let's find some sort of a palette for this. I guess I can take something like this. Very good. And let's get my faithful knife. There we go. Let's get all the little particles of older paint off this cap. There we go. Let's add the purple. Beautiful, extremely dark, so I am going to lighten it up. So, I'm not going to have to be too difficult in finding the kind of purple that suits me, because we are going to have to put 2 coats on if we want to cover the whole thing and for it to be nice and opaque. So, I can just get it approximately to the color that I like, and then after that, tomorrow when we do the second coat, then we'll worry of finding really the color that pleases us the most. So, I got the purple paint done. I'm going to clean off my knife because I don't want to get any purple in my jar of white paint. That's for sure. There we go. And let's get some white in there. I probably will have to make some more paint as we go along, but that is definitely no big deal because this painting is kind of large. So let's start with this. Once again, I'm going to clean off my knife. I like keeping my tools as clean as possible, like that. When we have to use them again, I don't have to worry about mixing all the paints together. So, there we go. So I got some new Thai microphone this weekend, which I'm trying out for the first time today. I got a Synco microphone. So hopefully everything is working okay. I can see on the VU meter that I am just peaking a little bit on the red, which is from my radio days days, I know that is kind of what you want. You want to be in the orange, yellow middle, and then once in a while just peek in the red, and that's what it seems to be doing. So hopefully everything is going okay. Unfortunately, when I'm doing a live stream like this, I have no way of checking. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Let's find the right brush that we're going to need now. That's going to be also pretty important. So I'm just going to step back and take a look also at what I'm going to do. Okay. Now to determine the right kind of brush, well, I'm going to use this brush just to mix the paints and the colors together. So what do I have here? So I am going to go over to my camera number 1 and we will mix the paint together. So let's do that right now. Let's pop it over here. I'll bring the camera a little bit closer and bring it down. We do have a jar of water right here, which is very handy. And then let's see, I got the dark purple and the white, so let's just mix this all up together. Nice, beautiful purple. I definitely don't have enough. I can see that right away if we're doing all these plants. So, that is very nice, but I'm going to need like a ton more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here and I am going to switch to a larger palette, I think. There we go. Just start with another palette right here, which is nothing more than a plastic set of plates that we had left over from an opening. And of course, with lockdown, we haven't had an art show or an opening in our place for over a year now, right? So anyways, let me just transfer the white paint to one corner, the purple to another. There we go. And I am going to add some more purple. Let's get back to our knife here. Oops. Okay, so let's get this purple in here. Very good. Let's cover up these jars of paint so it doesn't get contaminated by other colors. Wipe off the knife again. My hands are already full of paint and I haven't even started painting yet. And that's all right. And where does this go? This goes right in there. So, very good. Let's get back then to camera number 1. And let's continue. So here we have a lot more of the purple. And let's just make a lot more. I want this purple to be a little bit dark because I am going to highlight it with some lighter purple later. So once we have the 2 coats done. So I'll just start off like this. I know also, like most paints and most colors, they will darken as they dry. So I say that almost on every one of my streams, but it's a fact. So there we go, got a nice beautiful purple. Just turn the camera back up. And you can see what a beautiful background that is with the highlights, the shading that we did on Friday. And so I have to just take a quick look. I have to see what I'm going to do, because if I don't see what I'm doing, I can't really paint it. Okay. So I am not totally convinced I have the right brush for what I want to do. And instead of starting and struggling right off and having a crappy Monday, I am going to change brushes right away. So once again, I'm going to come back over here, rinse off this brush, then pick another brush where I'm sure to have a lot more control over what I'm doing. Which means, what brush am I going to use in that case? I have several choices, and I think I am going to go with this guy here. And if this still doesn't work well, I'll just switch brushes again. No big deal. Okay, so let me just step back for a second again. We'll go over back to camera number 1. Maybe I'll even just zoom in a little bit on the top part right here where I'm going to start painting. So I can see the brush strokes very clearly, which is why we're going to have to put 2 coats down. There we go. And I would say maybe something like there we go, very nice. And again, let's kind of get the right distance right here. So what does that look like? All right. That looks like the beginning of our plants. Very good. Excellent. So, what do I want to do? I'm going to go down here and do the same sort of a kind of plant down on the lower right-hand side. I am going to bring the chair over, just like that. I'll switch to the double cameras. There we go. And though this brush is working very well, I'm going to switch and grab a brush that's slightly smaller, where I have a little more control over it. There we go. Zoom. Very good. Down here. So I don't know, but I think you can probably hear all the construction work that's going on in the street. Now I know I could put a noise gate on my microphone so that you wouldn't hear all that, but to be honest with you, I kind of enjoy hearing all the noise that goes on around. So I am just going to leave that like that, the way it is, because it's part of my studio life. There we go. So let me just step back for a second and see what that looks like from back here. Okay. Looks a little awkward right in here, but that's because it's two leaves overlapping, and you'll see that when I start putting in the lighter shade of purple. So, let's take care of that. I'm going to go back up here now. Yeah, I'm going to add one more plant over in the upper left-hand corner there. Yep, that looks good. So let's come back here. And I'm just going to move maybe move the camera over to a little bit so I don't stand in front of the lens. There we go, hopefully there should work out all right. Maybe move it over just a little bit more like that. Just going to do the outlines first. There we go. Like I said, this is just the background. There'll be 2 coats, so I don't have to be that careful about it. Everything that doesn't work out, we can always fix it in the next coat or when we do the details afterwards. So, like that, then this will come down like this. Nice droopy leaf. There we go. Okay, let me just step back. Just a little bit wider. Okay. Okay, very good. So let's continue on that vein. This time I'm going to switch colors and add some green. A few plants of green. Let's see, get this out of here. No. So I am just thinking here, just thinking for a few seconds as I am kind of getting a little bit pissed off again. And I'm getting a little pissed off because I need some green paint. I have two jars. One, there's that much paint left, and this one, this much left of this one. And this one's almost full. But what I'm getting pissed off is always about the same thing. You have this long tube, you have this much paint. How do you get to the bottom of it with this kind of an opening? The opening is so damn narrow that you can't get a spoon in there to grab it. If I get a bigger wooden spoon, it won't go in there either. So how do you reach this paint? The guys who manufacture these really don't paint and never thought about it. So what I have to do and which is what I've been doing with a lot of my paint, is actually cutting these with a knife and then scooping out the paint and putting it in another jar. But it's really kind of annoying, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm actually going to bring the camera over here. Let me see here. Let me get this so we can do this together, and you can see how annoying it is. So I'll just switch over to camera number 1 here. Or actually I'll switch to the dual cameras like this. So you can see right here how narrow this is. And the paint is, I have about this much of the paint left in this entire jar. So let me pull this back a little bit like that. So I got this much paint left out of this jar. So I'm going to just lay it down here, make a little room here. Let me just zoom back in a little bit. Just like that. And carefully, so I don't cut myself. Of course, I'm just going to just cut through this jar right here. And now I can get the paint and scoop it out and put it in here, which is what I'm going to do right now. So before I do that, it looks like I have a little bit of white paint, so I'm going to pull this camera back. Oops. I said pull it back, not zoom in, and then just bring it over here. And bring it over there to my kitchen area where I'm going to go right now and rinse off this jar. It seems to have just a little bit of white paint left in it. Now that's nice and clean. And we can come back here and then we'll just scoop the paint back into it. There we go. So let me get my spoon out here. And at the price that painting materials cost, you just can't afford to lose even a drop. You know, forget it. It's kind of annoying that I have to keep doing this every time I get to the bottom of a paint can, or paint jar, paint container, or whatever. Okay, so we got that done. Let me just scoop all this extra green paint in the can. There we go. Let me get my rag out. Clean this off. Come back to camera number 1, number 2, and I'll move this one back. There we go. Move that one back in its place. Okay, so there we go. Got a top for that. Very good. Okay, so where were we? Let me just step back for a second, take a look. Yes, we were going to add some more green plants. So, I'm going to use a boom, boom, boom. What kind of a paintbrush am I going to use? Several choices. And just like with the purple, this will probably need 2 coats of paint as well. So I don't have to worry about anything too much. Yes. I do want to have the right size brush. Okay, I'll put both of these to soak until I make a decision. Grab the palette, get my faithful knife again, right there. There we go. Again, this is just going to be kind of like the background color. After that, there will be some details and shadowing later when it's dry. So I just want to get this first coat down. And again, like usual, like getting the right kind of texture of my paint. So I am going to come back to camera number 1, right over here, where we are going to work this to get the right consistency of this paint so it just goes down nicely on the canvas. There we go. So I'm going to need a little bit more water. Might as well just, there we go. Cut corners and now. So this is not very difficult. Definitely not quantum physics or high mathematical workings, problems, solutions, whatever. No, it's pretty simple stuff. There we go. That looks just right, just the right consistency that we need. The only thing that's worrying me is the paintbrush. Again, is this the right paintbrush for what I want to do? I think it's just a little bit too wide. So let's bring this back up. I am going to tackle the left-hand side of this blue circle, so I might as well get the camera right there. And then I am going to just switched over to this slightly thinner brush, where I think I'll have a lot more control of my movements, and therefore putting down the paint where I want it to go. So, let me just step back for a second, take a look at where I want to go, what I want to do, and I think I just want to go right here. There we go. Bonjour Claudine.
Bonjour Marie.
Ça va? T'as passé un bon week-end? Dans le jardin?
Aussi.
Aussi, c'est...
Pas fait ce que je voulais faire, il y avait trop de vent, je devais faire des traitements. Et
Dans le jardin, tu veux dire?
ouais.
Ah.
Avec les inhalations et tout ça, tu peux pas, même si c'est en bio, c'est pas...
Ouais, c'est clair. Ouais, c'est vrai qu'il y avait du vent hier. Hein? Ouais.
Aujourd'hui, ce matin,
Aussi? Ouais.
après ça s'est calmé, il y en a encore, mais pas...
Ouais.
Mais là, je viens de voir, il faut que tu y ailles absolument. C'est magnifique son travail, moi je connaissais déjà, je l'avais vu chez Ben et chez Depardieu. Tu sais, la villa abandonnée, cette maison qui est près de l'église Jeanne d'Arc, là-haut, près de chez toi.
Oui,
En fait, je
d'accord.
t'en avais parlé déjà de la villa abandonnée, ils appellent.
D'accord.
Ou villa Carméline, peu importe. Et il y a Franck, ça ici, c'est une personnelle.
C'est quoi, des sculptures,
Dessin.
des dessins?
J'adore.
Ah.
J'adore son travail, toujours, depuis que je connais.
C'est quoi le sujet? C'est...
Il n'y a pas un sujet, c'est son univers qui est... Il y a un peu de surréalisme, mais il y a aussi des choses très brutes. C'est très beau. Je ne sais même pas expliquer. Je mettrai peut-être quelques photos tout à l'heure. Je n'avais pas fait beaucoup parce que j'étais tellement... Je n'ai même pas pensé à faire les photos.
Dis-moi, est-ce que j'ai de la peinture sur mon visage?
Oui, ici. Vert. Donc c'est toujours demain la réunion?
Jeudi, non?
Jeudi, je regarderai, je l'ai écrit.
C'est vrai, là?
C'est changé plein de fois, oui, c'est bon.
Merci. Bah oui, je sais, ça a changé toutefois, mais enfin...
C'est bien qu'il y ait du bas, en même temps, ça me donne le plaisir de l'avoir.
Exactement, exactement.
Voilà.
De toute façon, je ne pense pas que les autres...
Ils ne viendront pas.
Ils viendront pas.
Tu vois qu'ils ont disparu depuis.
Bah ouais, la preuve.
Ils n'ont plus
Ils
répondu.
plus.
C'est pour ça qu'aujourd'hui, je ne sais pas si tu as vu, j'ai fait exprès un petit clin d'œil pour les ramener à la
non, je n'ai
vie.
pas vu.
Quand elle dit, mais pourquoi le mercredi, Léa? Elle aussi, elle est mignonne, mais chacun, on n'a pas... Ça fait 3 fois qu'on change pour elle, quand même, la réunion.
Ouais.
Je ne veux pas dire, mais bon.
Ouais.
Et...
On voit son innocence. Hein, quand
pourquoi ça doit être que le mercredi? Et alors, du coup, j'ai répondu, parce que théoriquement, il devait... voilà, parce qu'elle ne travaille pas non plus, mais il y a des gens qui bossent quand même.
Ouais. Ben oui, ceux qui ont l'école d'habitude, c'est pour ça qu'on faisait le mercredi. Pareil, Jeanne, pas de nouvelles non plus. On en parlera après, je suis en plein stream, d'accord? Je ne veux pas passer pour un méchant devant des millions de spectateurs. Okay, so that was Claudine. She has this, my friend Claudine, who has a studio right above me, so that's how it goes, right? In the studio, you have friends who stop by, say hello, you have to answer. So anyways, let's get back to our painting. I'm going to switch over to camera number 1, and we'll tackle the rest of this little plant right here. Very nice. So I went a little bit over on the white here, but since this white is going to be just a black outline, it doesn't really matter. There we go. And let's just continue and fill in left and right little plants. What can I do next? How about something up in this upper left-hand corner? Some little leaves that come by. I don't know. Little leaves like this. Again, I'm going to move the camera over if you don't mind. Like that I know I won't be in the front. There you go. So what am I doing here? I'm going to do there we go, beautiful little leaves. Like that. We can actually even make like a triple decker. There, why not? Why not, why not? Just like that. I think I need a little dab of water on my brush. There we go. Good. So, how does that look? Okay, very good. Let's put the camera back over here. Go back into this other corner, I guess. So I am just going to step back for 1 second and take a little look. There we go, have a little sip of water. Okay. So I'm just trying to look at this painting and figure out what to do next and where to do it. I want the whole thing to be well balanced somehow. And like with the leaves, I want them to look like they're just random there, but in fact, everything has to be feng shui. Everything has to hold into place, be harmonious with the rest of the painting. And for that, I think I'm going to bring just a little bit of green right here. Not too much, just a few leaves. And then we'll take it from there. I mean, you know, this is like a puzzle, you know, we just put it together little by little, seeing how we feel, seeing what kind of colors we see. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, better luck next time on the next painting. I mean, when you've painted as long as I have, which is now close to 40 years, believe it or not, that I've been painting, I don't worry about the outcome. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it doesn't. And when you crank out paintings like every 2-3 weeks, or on a larger painting every couple of months, well, you know, you just don't worry about things like that, you know? At least I don't. But by stepping back, I do see certain things also that I'm going to fix, like right here. So I'm going to come back down so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to just come back down to this plant right here. And I'm going to fix right in here. God damn it. There we go. Got a lot of water on my brush here, which is no big deal. As with acrylic paint, all you gotta do is just brush it off before it dries. So there we go. No one will ever know that I screwed up. That will be our secret. There we go. So, and I am going to do the little bit of these leaves that I mentioned. So let me get this chair out of the way. Now we come back to camera number 1. And actually I'll bring it up just a little bit like that. Because I am not going to go any further than right here. So let me just step back again, take a look. Just going to add a little staple right there. There we go. Keep this canvas from moving and screwing me up. Good. Oh man. Just like that. Just like that. I mean, there's three things you have to always worry about for your paint to go down smoothly. The first one is the consistency of the paint, the texture. The other one is having the right paintbrush. And the third is to be comfortable. You know, if you have to bend down like this to paint, or have to get on your tiptoes, obviously, if you have to stay longer than just a second or two, it's an invitation for disaster. So you have to have all three of those things just right for your painting to go smoothly. So, let me bring camera number one back a little bit. Okay, so I know this is kind of unsettling. Well, maybe on the camera you can't see it, but when I'm standing here, I can see brush strokes everywhere, and it looks pretty shitty, I must admit. But I'm not worried because I know, like I mentioned, this is just the first coat. So it's no big deal. The second coat is going to make everything more opaque, nice and solid. And then we're going to add the details to it. So I am not stressing out at all. What I am stressing out about is what to do next. What is going to be my next color? So I'm just going to kind of look at what I could do, what I could use, what are these multitudes of possibilities, an infinite amount of possibilities. Now I know my person here is going to be in cerulean blue, a light blue right here. And I'm saying that because I was just tempted to actually add some blue plants in here. And then I just remembered there's going to be blue right here. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to figure out another kind of combination that I would enjoy, probably something in the reds. Or a magenta. Just gonna stand back and think this out for a second. So let me take a look and see what I have here. See if there are any colors that kind of strike my fancy. Cadmium red deep hue. Would that make me happy? What does that look like? Just going to put a little bit on my finger right here and spread it. Just take a little look. And you know what? This looks kind of nice. I'm not sure. Excuse me. There we go. Cough, cough. Let's try this hue, this red here. So, I wouldn't mind having some leaves like this right here with this kind of a red. So let's try it. Why not? Let's be adventurous. And let's get some red on this palette. Well, this red right out of the tube like this. It is a beautiful, beautiful red. But I think when you spread it a little bit, it kind of has a tendency to change. So I'm not too sure what is going to come out of this. I'm going to use the same paintbrush I had earlier. So, let me pull this back. I'm going to bring camera number 1 over here. And just like earlier, unfortunately, since the whole goal of this stream is to share everything we do in the studio, well, that includes sometimes sweeping the floor before having a new canvas, and obviously it means washing the paintbrushes. So I'm out of containers of clean water. My paintbrushes that I'm going to use here are dirty, so I am just going to go over to my little kitchen here, and I am going to wash my brushes with some soap and water. It should just take a few seconds. Nice clean water first. There we go. A little bit of soap. Okay, brush number 3, I only have 2 more to go. The brushes I use on the purple. Might as well wash those off too since I'm right here. Just take a few seconds. Not only will I feel better, but the brushes will be happier too. That wasn't beautiful. Fresh water and jar here. And my last brush that we used on the purple. In fact, we started with this brush, but we didn't really use it. We found it to be too wide, too big, too clumsy to use. So, okay, there we go. Brushes are clean and happy, just like we feel when we take a shower. Up, and very good. So, let's start anew. I'll bring the camera back to where it's supposed to be. Somewhere like there. Put that into its right position. And our beautiful red paint, which has some crap in it already. There we go. And just put a little bit of red on the cover. Right here, a little bit of red like that. I'll be able to find this easier when I'm looking for the red at a later date. So let's get back our paintbrushes that we just washed. There we go. And like before, we are just going to add a little bit of water to get this to be the right consistency. I'll come back to camera number 1, where we can just do this together. Except I'm a mile away from my jar of water. There we go. There we go, very nice. I'm just going to add another dab of water. Okay, that looks pretty nice. Let's pull the camera back again. Bring it up to that upper right-hand side where we're going to add our little leaves. There we go. So, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? First of all, by stepping back for a second, checking out the computer to see where I'm at. So I can come back here for a few seconds until I decide what I'm going to do. Oh, I have an idea. Okay, very good. Instead of going from the upper way down, I'm going to go this way. And that will solve all my little problems. So let's get back to camera number 1 and let's tackle this. Wow, that is a beautiful red. Make this just a little bit fatter right there. And what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to just go like this. Bring that down like that. Okay, let me step back, take a look. Why? Okay, there we go. I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to go back down to this lower left-hand corner now. Add a little more of these leaves. Right there, I'm going to bring the chair over. I'll switch to the dual camera. Come back here. Just grab a little bit more water.
Oui, ils sont ensemble déjà, donc ils sont partagés. Je vais aller porter des pigeons, c'est un petit apport, donc vous devez pas regarder.
There we go. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Like I said, this is just the background. We'll be able to catch all the screw-ups later. And let's just give it one more branch. There we go. Okay. So let me just step back and see where we're at. Okay, this is pretty good. We are going to basically just stay there, stop there. I need to look at this painting and think a little bit before I continue. After all, I am not a machine. And like I said, this is kind of like a puzzle you put together, but I do need a little bit of time to think things out. And I think I'm going to call it quits right there for today. Let all this dry so that tomorrow we can put a second coat. I mean, if we were in July, this would already be dry and we could just continue and put that second coat on today. Unfortunately, well, we're still in winter time and it's awfully damp in here in the studio. We don't have any heat on, so it does take longer to dry. So I'll figure out more what I'm going to do in here. I'd like to fill in as much as possible, but I'm not exactly sure what color to use. If we go back with some greens or maybe add some purple in here, I don't know. That's why I need to take some time off and think about this. So I'm going to go over to the computer. I'm going to thank you once again for joining me on my stream. I hope you'll join me tomorrow. I'll be back here at 9 a.m. What's it? Do I have some paint up here? Yes, I do. Like usual. So, you know what I got to do? I have to get like a little mirror so I can check my face off before I take the tramway to go home and I don't have paint all over my face and people look at me weird. I know we do have the mask, so I got this part I'm safe with, but the rest, not so sure. So anyways, my friends, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you'll join me as well tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll continue on this baby right behind me. And I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis.